Hello, everybody. It's nice to see you again. Thank you for being here with me, and thank you for interest in this important topic. So, this is part 8, and we're going to address another reason which affect negatively mango's general health, especially his heart and livers. So today's topic is suppressed feelings. So first I address the reasons. I did some research, just the bullet points, and I will address each one slightly. And if I get to it, we can get even how the suppressed feelings affect the general health. But see how far I can get. Soon as I start doing video, I get itchy nose. My hair start flying around for some reason. Okay, let's get to it. So number one, actually, why we have a suppressed feelings. Some of us more, some of us less, but I believe we all, to certain point, to certain level, have them. And even if you are aware or not, even if you work on them or not, because work on those mental issues takes much longer than, you know, if you cut your finger or something. I mean, not cut your finger off. I mean, if you just cut yourself with the knife while you're cutting something. Anyway, I start talking about other things. So, fear of being judged or rejected. That was for Mango very strong. I already mentioned not even judgment addressed to Mango, but any kind of judgment Mango would not have. So maybe I used this example before, I'm not sure, but I remember we started watching some series, me and Mango, he downloaded, and it was maybe 10 minutes in, and I mentioned that it's interesting how they use the mother and daughter in a show where they look almost the same by the age. You know, we judge the age of people. We may say she looked 20, she looked 40. And I only said, because I seen it as part of brainwash, how they one smashed the old people. They don't want you to believe the 40, 50-year-old looks 50-year-old. They want you to believe 50-year-old look 20-year-old. So, because all the surgeries, it's a part of the media is just mainstream media is to condition your mind. What's the standard? And soon as I said that, Mango switched that show off, and I said, "What's going on?" And he said, "We won't watch it." And I said, "Why?" "Because you don't like it, you criticize it." I said, "No, I just point out how," and so on. So we have a discussion, and in the end, Mango changed his mind. Mango was like he would reject everything on the beginning, But in most cases, he will come around. It will take him time. So that's a judgment, a rejection. Mango was pretty lonely throughout his childhood. So I think that's where he developed that fear of rejection. Also, his relationship never lasted for whatever reason. And maybe from that also he developed fear of rejection. He also, as the man, I think, felt a bit, how you say, he didn't feel like a real man because he used to say when we watched the movies and a man will pick up a woman and carry her, he would say, almost always he would mention and say, I wish I can do that. I wish I can carry you like this, but I don't have that strength. And I think because man is portrayed as you know, somebody strong, Mango didn't have that physical big strength. And that was maybe another reason why he felt like he may get easily rejected. Another reason of suppressed feelings could be part of the cultures. And Mango was growing up with English mother and Polish father. Father grew in Poland. He only went to England during the war. I think hiding, but nobody knows the story, but this is not what I want to talk about it. But I come from Czech Republic and Poland is very similar as far culture goes. There's a difference, but there's a lot of similarities. And one of those, and very strong in those Slavic cultures, I would put it to all Slavic countries, was don't talk, go away. Uh, if you cry, I used to be bashed. And of course I cried. I was a little kid. It was painful. It was unpleasant. And the father would say, don't you cry, or I give you something to cry about. Stop crying now, like this. So I couldn't even speak on a public when I was in my early adult years. Actually, I started talking more only after I was sometime in Australia. I was always very quiet and just quiet and observant. Takže suppressed feelings. I used to have that too. And we all do that sometimes in certain moments. Sometimes it's important. But in some situation that's to surviving when you need to survive when you in very dangerous situation, you may learn that suppress your feelings may be beneficial to you. But in overall life, daily living needs of human being is to express your feelings. I'm upset, I'm happy, or I feel like I don't want to do nothing today, or I feel like when you yell at me, I feel like this. Anything. communication, expression, true expression of our inner self, it's another form of communication which is very important. Another one, avoidance of conflict to prevent arguments or tension. Also very common thing practiced by most of us. I used to be like that. I'm not like that anymore. That's when I also had a suppressed feelings. I grew up out of it, but Mango seems it was difficult for him. Not only that, he believed this is the thing. I'm glad I remember this. Mango's hero was Mr. Spock or Speck from some spaceship show. I can't remember the name of it. I've seen it. Very good show. It's interesting. It was interesting. And I think he was a robot and he didn't have a feeling. He was very intelligent, but no feelings. And that was Mango's raw model. Mango believed if you don't show any feelings, that shows your strength. And um, another common belief, but now I want to go back to this, to avoidance of conflict and arguments, to prevent arguments and tensions. So, very common mistake most of humans do. That's why we can't again communicate properly, because you don't show how you truly feel. And I used to say so often to Mango, even in discussions or when it was in some show, I used to say, I so much prefer when people are open and tell me how they truly feel than if they suppress their emotions and pretend everything is okay. And in reality, the opposite is the truth. I want to know, please let me know if I'm doing something wrong, if something upsets you or anything, just let me know. I need to know. Mango would never do that. He would maybe take it as judging and we should not be judgmental, but being judgmental and to judge things, it's a different thing. You know, to judge something is, it is okay to go in such a hot water. I think I'm judging the situation. Is it good for me or not? But judging somebody because they may, whatever, um, behave certain way, we even don't know why or anything, even if we know. We can't judge people for their behavior because we should more ask why that person is behave this way if they misbehave, or we can just say, I wonder what happened here. It's I really don't understand that judgment um, when it's really wrong. I think it's when you lie about somebody, but that's not judgment, that's the lie. Sorry, I don't want to get into this. So, maybe somebody of you will explain that to me in your comments. I would appreciate that because I'm still a bit confused since I come to Australia because I get used to people say straight in most cases, you know. You look today upset. What's wrong with you, or what's happened to you? Is that judgment that I'm saying somebody is somebody you are sad? I don't know. So this was again for Mango very strong when he would avoid any conflict. Also, one of his ex girlfriends I addressed after Mango left, asked her a few questions. She said already in early 90s, 1992, was practicing detachment. Mango's dream to be detached from everything. I'm opposite. I want to be attached, especially to people, to my garden. I'm attached. If I plant a tree and somebody cut it, I will cry because I'm attached and I like to be attached. Being attached is like, again, you have a special feeling for that plant or for that place and for that person. And that's detachment. It's good to detach yourself from things so you don't have too many things. But from living things, from the life, anything which is part of your life, that's in my books. Uh, Also, Mango would never argue because he just doesn't wanna. He didn't even want a conflict. He When conflict arrived, Mango didn't know what to do. Mango was totally lost, especially when it was conflict um, with the humans. Like especially with me, he had a conflict with me because only when I start saying what I really think, then there was conflict. So I learned first, I wouldn't say what I think. Maybe it was intuition, I don't know. But I am the person who says as it is. If somebody um, do something I feel it's wrong, I will tell them. But Mango wouldn't. Mango wouldn't. Or this is good example. We buy something and there's something wrong with it. We bring it home, we find out something wrong with it, and I said, you have to take it back. Mango always would say, not me, if you want to take it back, you have to do it. He would never go to do something like that. Doesn't matter what it is. So if there was something like that, I used to always go and organize that. I have to speak, I have to say, look, something wrong. There is something wrong. And this is what Mango didn't want to say or hear. So you can imagine how difficult it was for him. And when I start speaking out, because I realized I have to, it was useless. Because in most cases, because Mango would even in the end be able even communicate about the conflict, but he he will change something about the conflict, and slowly everything will go back to as it was. So there was never like real um, change. The story was constantly the same. And I also learned it will always be like that. I have to accept it or not. I accept it because I loved mango. I want to be with mango. There was a lot of good things. And also, we have very rare conflict because we both very tolerant in many ways. And we are prefer peace, love and peace than conflict. But in my book, some things needs to be addressed, but we always address them, how you say it, not with arguing, just with discussion. And that was for Manko difficult. Sometimes you need to write things down, especially in the beginning, before we learn more about each other. When there was some conflict, we will write. And that was Mango's suggestion. He said, I'm not good at this, I'm not good talking about those things. And I will write to you and then you will write me back. So he preferred to write, I prefer to talk, because when you talk, you can straight away interact to the points which are being spoken of. But writing is good too, of course. I just said I prefer the. So that was another one. Fear of burdening others. To burden others. I'm not sure if Mango had that one actually. But maybe to some extent, yes, I have this very strong. Not that I fear it, but I don't like doing it. There might be the same thing. I don't like ask other people to help me. If I can do it myself. But if I can't do it by myself, I have no problem to ask, and I don't see it as burden. Past trauma, like we have them all, but somebody more, somebody less. Takže previous negative experiences related to expressing feelings So this is big one. Mango was bullied at school a lot. But from what I know, he told me, he mentioned that few times. We actually had a chat about this few times throughout the year. Always not in angry, in normal peaceful discussion. No tears, no anger, nothing like this. Just the story how it was at school. And the story from Mango's school, which was huge with a lot of people in it, to me, it was like horrifying, scary. It reminded me of more like army than school, from what I heard. And when Mango confined as a little boy, of his father asking for help. And believe me, it's not easy for a child. Everybody of you who experience it would well know and agree with me. It's not easy to confide in anybody. And if you do, you really trust that person and you really believe that person is going to help you because it's there for you. You believe it's there for you to protect you, to help you. And the response of Mango's father was, you just have to fight back. That's all you do. If you don't fight back, it can be fixed. The boy was double size, much older than Mango to start with. What would happen if Mango tried to attack him? The boy wasn't on his own, he has his buddies. It usually comes in the bully group, the leader and his servants. Also, Mango, it wasn't in his nature already. He was born as a gentle soul. He would never hit anybody or bully anybody. He just want to play with the children, if anything. Mango was scared going in and out of school in his from his day one till he get some higher level when he changed the school and it was different. But that was maybe last 2 years of his school. So as the kid, he was in a big distress, he confined, he was misunderstood, he was little kid, he was given a responsibility to take care of the problem, and it was the responsibility of the parents to save the child from such environment. But true is, maybe the parents didn't know better way, they didn't know other way. That's all they knew. And that's why so many children of that generation have to suffer because the parents wasn't educated enough in psychology, in parenthood, you know. They all went through who knows what in their life, and they also wasn't taught, just as their parents wasn't taught. So this is just sad, vicious circle of human behavior because there is wrong way how we communicate and to suppress feelings are a big part of it. Desire for control, desire to control. So suppressed feelings can create a sense of control over emotions and overall emotional state. I remember Mango got once, he lost it. He got very angry with me. I must keep talking about something. I just was desperate to get that question, answer to that question. But I don't know what it was. But I remember I would not let go. And Mango lost it. And then when he calmed down, he first reaction was, he is so upset he lost it. You know, he was now bashing himself over it. He lost it because he's so proud of himself. How long he didn't lost it. Suppressed feelings. You don't fight over not to lost it. You know, you may go in the garden, go for a walk. If you feel like this, you can control it. Of course you can. But if you don't, if if you don't, if you lose it, then you you should try to think how to control them better, but not suppress, but control better your feelings, or how to act if certain feelings come, so I don't become dangerous, for example, so it doesn't go out of the control. But this desire of controlling the feelings to the extent that I don't show them at all is not healthy at all, you know. Mango didn't even say, stop it, you know, this is really staring me. I can't give you answer now. Ask me nothing like this. He's just not communicating back in a way, giving me answer. Even if he tell me I can't give you answer now, I will be happy. But there is no back communication. Only then the fully lost the plot situation, which happened very few times to Mango. He was very good at that. But yeah, no, I'm sorry, or how come I lost it so much? I'm so upset because I was so proud for so long. I don't lost it. Now I lost it. So it only shows how important it was for Mango that suppressed feelings, you know. So he come across to other people like calm and collected, and he had his everything together, you know. He is the man of the gradit of the such composure, you know, and I'm just some lunatic who shows open book. I don't like that suppressed feeling society ideas where um, it's I don't know. It's like really broken communication. It's not honest communication, you know. People being it's it's shown. What's the name of that show? Meaning of Life by some English guy. I think made that movie, and it's about England. You know, when this fat guy, huge guy, eating in a restaurant, stuffing himself, and then he burst out, and everybody doing like nothing happened, still like eating and in some posh restaurant, all the rich people, and they just pretend nothing happened. Exactly this. I don't like it. In a society or social circles like this, Not only I'm not comfortable, but I don't even attend. So this was the desire to control your feelings by suppressing them, not to learn how to manage them if they getting out of hand. Another point, social expectations, social pressures may and encourage some of us to present a facade of strength and composure. I just spoke about it when Mango actually wanna appear. He is, but that facade of strength and composure. It was just facade. In reality, Mango was very weak, very weak. That's why he couldn't face even little conflict like this, because he was just lost on that level. He was brainwashed with this detach himself from everything, and that show, maybe some Voyager or something. I think it's so popular, most of it would know it. They travel in a space, and there were people from different planets, and so on and so forth. Mango watched it since childhood, and that show really had a strong impact on his way of thinking and even some of his beliefs. So this is another one, this is big one, and that's what I was talking about, that facade, and that's big in both countries Mango's parents grew up in. Maybe in Australia, I think it's not so big. Of course, there will be always people who are like that, but there will be visible, obvious, more people in that society. They just tell you as it is. They also being themselves. They don't have a such big problem in Australia with what people will say or anything like that. That's my experience anyway. Maybe depends what people you mix with too. So we now went through the reasons, and now we go through how suppressed feelings can affect our general health. So emotional burden, for Mango, emotional burden since early childhood, which was never fully released. I think that's why he loved so much being alone just in a nature. It was his best thing. That was the goal of his life, to end up that way. That's his Jeremy story. So emotional burden increase stress levels, and that affect mental and physical health. It weakens immune system. Our immunity is being compromised if we suppressing our feelings. If you feel like you wanna cry, please cry. if you're gonna be angry, be angry, but learn to be angry in a safe way. Even crying, learn not to overdo it. As we know, all we know, it's common knowledge. If immune system is weak, our health is compromised on every weak point in our body. Another health problem, cardiovascular disease, heart disease, heart problems. Mango had heart problems. On a mental level, the strongest for Mango was difficulties in relationships. Suppressing emotion can affect negatively effective communication. And that's what I was saying to Mango when I start really speaking my mind. Then it really comes big conflict in communication. Mango would not wanna be part of it. But I was telling him if we don't communicate it, we never resolve it. And so the effective communication was uh, leading to strained relationship. So the longer we were together, the more difficult for both. It was that communication conflict, really. That was our only conflict. And I was the one who was, in a way, demanding it. At the times, not all the time. And that's, only about the most important things. I can let go. I'm very tolerant of a lot of things. So this was only when it was, for me anyway, very important. And also, these difficulties in relationships also leads to social isolation. Mango, did, I would go visit friends. I would go visit even places, but Mango would prefer to be at home on a computer. But face to face, the visits usually we have the time when people can come a sit Mangos. Jak se tomu říká? Routine and um, so it was usually early in the morning, around 8:30, and for like till midday was already late. But Mango would not say anything. But when people leave, he will say, "Ah, it's getting late," and we go try to eat because we never have a lunch, only when the visitors leave, because the lunch was always big setup with the shows on the computer. And I also learned that Mango used to like to do activities with me which would not involve communicating, much of communicating about other things than what we just doing. Like we play table games, like I don't know how it goes now. We played the table games, we played some cards slightly, we may draw, but when we draw, even then we didn't talk because when I create, I usually not talking, but or watching shows. And when I wanna say something, that's usually a problem, so I can't even match. discuss maybe situation in the show I would like to address also on. Very rare we just sit and chat about something, some topic. And the most topic Mango would be willing to chat was veganism. Anything about vegan involved vegan would really get him into talking. Plus, he would talk. He would, if he was interested in some topic, yes, he would start and chat away about. But about the real life, or how we going to do this or this, it was more difficult. Takže to jsme měli difficulties in relationships, in social isolation. I like to be on my own. I'm introvert, but I also love to spend time with people. So for me, it was difficult. Again, I tolerated. I would prefer we go more visit people or people visit us more often and even in different times of the day. But for Mango too, his social life was really on a computer. He has very few friends. He will maybe even go and visit on his own, maybe one or two. But he will like chat up people at the markets, with his facade. And so also when not people was around, Mango was a bit yako down, no energy, doing computer and a lot. And um, maybe we were already about 2 years together. And in Sydney, we didn't socialize much because Mango didn't have a friends there or had only few friends. And I used to visit one of them on a regular basis on my own. And I have a lot of acquaintances, but not many friends. Mango then made his friend Danny, but he may visit him sometimes, but it wasn't very often. And Mango would like to be friends with people who are rejected a lot by others for whatever reason. So he want to be there like for them. That's what he told me. But anyway, we were up here already. We lived in a place where more people live, so he couldn't avoid people because we used the kitchen sometimes, which were common, and so that in most cases people would be there. And I once asked Mango why he, on the front of people, behaves, and he's very talkative, and he's very like full of energy and chatty and everything. And when he is with me, he's just go recluse and telling me he doesn't have much energy. And he told me that he can show me because I am his partner and because he is with me at home, like in his private place, so he can show he really his true self, but on the front of people, he don't want them to know how he really is, so he just gives that energy out. And that was it. And I said there, okay, and that never come even to the discussion. He answered my question. Soon as I have my question, like Little Prince, he also never stopped asking questions till he got the answer. Beautiful book, Little Prince, inspired me in many ways. I read it many times. First time when I was 20. Okay. Another reason how it can affect health. So this was mental health, this suicide and social isolations and problems in communication and in relationships. Another one, appetite problems, undereating or overeating. So Mango was doing both. Sometimes he would undereat and sometimes, most of the time actually, he would overeat, I think, especially on the calories, which I will address in the future. But that's another health problem with the suppressed feelings when it can affect you may eat at times too much, at times even nothing or just little. Muscle tension, pain, cramps, restless legs, busy mind. Jo, to je potom až jen pain in the leg. And after sitting long, I already mentioned that in one of those videos, those series, when Mango sat for longer time, like in that lotus thing, the legs crossed like this. When he started walking, that since I met him, and it was getting worse, he walked like this with his legs. He couldn't like straighten his legs, so a little bit like his bent in his knees, legs more apart, and walking like this. And when I asked him why he has it, because he, as I said, it was from the day when I met him, he said, I don't know what he said. He said it's just normal. Yeah, that's what he has that for a long time. Like everything was normal. There's no problem. That's normal. So that's that muscle tension. Mango have pains in his legs at times. He has a less legs. Or as well, I mean, very often through the day or just when he's supposed to sleep. Again, that's nothing. He told me the pains in the legs often. That's nothing. And he used to get really bad cramp. That's nothing. But not very often. The cramps, not so often. Also, the restless legs would come only in periods, but when it comes, it can be every day, every other day for say month also, and then no problem. Sometimes it was more 2 days, sometimes it was more in a time when Mango wanted, usually slept, and that will stop him sleep. wake him up and breaking his sleep and so on. Takže restless legs gave him restless sleep. A už jsme tady. Sleep disturbances. To jsou ty restless legs again plus disturbed mind. Especially when Mango was writing or working on something or supposed to prepare for interview with somebody, he would really prepare for it. Like I just come and I talk. But Mango, he has to really have it structured and he would really work on it for a while before he feels confident to go and talk. And in those times, especially, his mind was very restless and he couldn't sleep properly. And because he would go sleep much earlier than me, so sometimes he would come around 9, 8:30, normally he would sleep even 10 o'clock sometimes. And like he comes like he want a hug. And I said, can't you sleep? He said, no. And it was usually busy mind. So he used to do meditation sometimes, but I don't think he was persistent in any of those things. Digestion, not the reason. Suppressed feelings can affect your digestion. So suppressed feelings affects blood flow. So blood flows away from the digestive system, so it's not enough. So, and therefore the functions of digestive systems, I can't talk English today, are damaged. So not the digestive system is not working properly, okay, because some parts of it are damaged by those suppressed feelings. Also, we can't forget gut and brain connection. Stress and suppressed emotions can impact the balance in new neurotransmitters like serotonin that regulate gut functions, leading to digestive issues. Mango, as we know, since I met him again, his poo was runny and at times really noisy. It was coming out like really with lot of little explosions. And I could hear it, and I used to comment on it on the beginning. No, I only was surprised again in the beginning. I asked if he ate something wrong, and he said, no, this is normal, which is true through whole years, almost 20 years, I knew Mango was exactly this way. He was he was regular, so he thought because he's regular, it's perfect. I told him Ranipu is not perfect. I would not get answer. I told him in my books, healthy food, healthy poo, I already manage it. I already mentioned it in one of those videos. that I believe healthy food is more like soft serve of ice cream, and Mango believed because his was runny, it's the runny one. I can't do anything about it, can I? Another reason which affects our health if we have a suppressed feelings is cravings, food cravings, and eating habits. Again, it everything fully agrees with the mango. Emotionally eating, overeating, or making unhealthy food choices. That's that durian and avocado. You know, to treat, to favorite. Even I know it's no good for me, I will still eat it. There is something wrong for sure. You know, that was Mango's choice. Unhealthy food choice. He was chose he was eating emotionally. That was one of his problems, as well as addictions. Addiction itself. So again, addiction I wanna address separately because it's a big one. So there you go. The suppressed feelings. If you have a problem with tackling addictions, the constant food cravings, if you don't know how to say no to food, you know, if you eat it and you will feel sick afterward, check it out. Look into suppressed feelings. Maybe that's what you suffer. Maybe look how you can heal yourself from it, or at least ease the symptoms. Another one, the last one, inflammation. Systemic inflammation symptom, pain, swellings, fever, fatigue, changes in mental state, digestive issues, skin rashes, and mood changes. Mango had all those. You have a pain, you have a swellings. You used to wake up in the morning really swollen. I was I couldn't even mention it. He will get very upset. I'm sure he could see it. But I was saying to myself, why this is, I was puzzled why mango eating fruit have so obvious, to me, health problems. Pain, he has lot of pain. You know, in the legs, he said if I put his head when we lie down on his shoulder, he would not handle it for more like 2 minutes. His shoulder will get sore. So anything pressing on his body for even a short time, it, he will get pain. Fever. We know when he got very sick, he got he have a 40 degrees fevers for weeks. Um, 1 week, 2 weeks, you know. Changes in mental state. Mango would have a changes in mental state. Sometimes he fully behave out of his character. It fully made me feel like, well, you know, this is the Mango I never seen before. It didn't happen often, but it did. Fatigue. Very weak sometimes, so weak as I mentioned already again in one of those videos. He will have this hand on mechanical lawnmower and he will do like normal suburban, I don't know the meters, say 20 meters, and he have to sit down and have a rest. So very little bit of energy um, periods. Um, Digestive issues, obviously, just the way the poo come out, it's obvious to me digestive issue. Skin rashes, Mango have a lot of rash. He had like, it was like going over the grater, going over his back. And I heal it for him with the putting aloe on it. But soon as I stop putting it on, within month or two, it will be back. Okay, look, it's 1 hour again. But I'm glad I could put it all in one video. I was afraid I must do separately the why we have them and then the health reasons. So I was reading a lot today because I do research, and if that fits to Mango's problems, I knew he had health problems and call it maybe mental problems, not serious, but you know, issues. Um, I wasn't very today much. I feel like I wasn't much like contact with you, so I try to say quick goodbye, so you can have a time to do other things. But this is video you don't need to watch. You just listen to it. You can do other things like wash up or something like this, whatever you do. Whatever Mango, whatever I mention here about him, it doesn't change the fact that he was a really nice man, and I'm happy I could spend almost 20 years with him. He also corresponded for a whole 2 years, almost every day. Only towards the end it becomes scarce. So it was proven to me with Mango, even there was this communication difficulty. The love definitely conquers all because whatever was going on, we both agreed we want to be together. Because I said, Mango, many times, look, if, if I'm too difficult for you, you know, and with my disability and everything, you 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 can leave me, I can't hold you here. I don't even want you to be here if it's it for you somehow burden. Mango always said, I wanna be with you. And he wanted to be with me. I wanted to be with him. And we don't have many conflicts. More now, only on the beginning, maybe after 2 years when I start really speaking out a lot. And then towards the end, because I was puzzled with Mango, and so I was asking him questions about his health, really, but not much, because especially what was addressed to him, and it was something on a negative kind of, your health is something wrong. He would not like to communicate it. So anyway, the love conquers all, and don't forget about love. Never forget about love. If you do something, some mistake, if you hurt somebody, please go and apologize. It heals. It heals a lot the conflict, the situation. If you hurt people intentionally, you're in a big trouble. And it's up to you what you decide if you want to continue or not. It's your responsibility. But if you hurt people without any intention, you always apologize. If you truly love, you know it's easy for you to say, sorry, I am sorry, and say it as you mean it. It doesn't come out from your heart, it's fake. Cultivate love in your heart if you want to enjoy your life and if you want to feel good about yourself. And if you want to give a good to everybody across your way. I'm leaving now and I'm already looking forward to see you again in our comment section. And I hope everything is okay with you and the life treats you well. Lots of love to all of you. Till next time. Bye.